Hey everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee. Thanks so much for joining me. We are here with a recap of Don't Flop small room sessions that just went down yesterday. Can't wait to hear about this. I wasn't actually there myself. I'm hearing it's a fantastic event. Before I get into that though, I'd just like to say please follow us on Twitter at Battle Rap Resume if you want to know about upcoming episodes and ideas and see me trying to negotiate the murky waters of getting battlers to do the episodes, you know, with my pleas and stuff. I think I asked Caustic to please be on the show and he retweeted it with a why not. So, you know, there is some success in those endeavors. Also, go onto our Patreon page if you want to listen to Battle Rap Resume, interviews like whatever, interviews upcoming, then just go onto that channel and you can hear previews there months before they come out. You can also get access to exclusive episodes such as Resume Review, or I'll read out the emails, get loads of emails every week, go through those, talk about battles of the month, just all that extra stuff. If you want to give back to the show, especially £1 a month is the flatline fee to get the archive stuff. There's higher tiers if you want to go there, but check it out, patreon.com/Battle Rap Resume. Obviously get in touch with me, battleresume@gmail.com, as I just said. Please leave a review on iTunes, please subscribe to us on any platform, go on the YouTube, look back through the archives. But yeah, with that out the way, we'll get into today's recap. And originally, I was set to do this with Bear Solutions, good friend of the show, but unfortunately he had to leave early for whatever reason. So he let me know yesterday that he only saw half the battle, so he questioning whether it would be right to do that, which I think was right of him to say. And he recommended a great replacement. I'm happy to welcome to the show for the first time. He also battled there. Carbon, what's good, man?
Yeah, man, how you going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I mean, you said you're a little bit worse for wear there, so long night was it? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, got a bit late afterwards as well. I had to leave and go. I met a couple of friends afterwards, had a couple of drinks. It was got pretty nasty.
Right. So we'll get into these battles. I can't wait to hear about it. And obviously, the first thing I need to ask is small room sessions, as is the design of it, or at least this one, at least. The location was a mystery. It was a blackout of sorts.
It was indeed, yeah.
Were people told literally the night before?
They were told, I believe, because I had a friend that was initially supposed to be coming, but he couldn't make it because of working. He actually got told the day before.
Yeah.
The day before. So yeah, he was actually asking me like right up until he got the emails, like, are we going to be told where this is going down?
Yeah.
And in the end, because I already knew where the event was, I told him anyway. I said, look, don't spread this to anyone, because if people suddenly turn up, the event is going to get shut down. Right, you've got to keep it a secret at these sort of things, otherwise people will just take the piss, really, won't they?
Yeah, that's true actually, and no one did know. Like, it was watertight up until
no. I was quite pleasantly surprised by that, because I expected that someone would just blab and all of a sudden we'd get a lot of people there, because the card was really, really good. Yeah,
you can imagine some like embittered like King of the Ronalds fan just revealing it just to fuck everyone.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what did this add? Did this kind of? I should ask first of all. Sorry, Carbon. Where was it? Where was it set?
It was at Parlour Skate Shop near Old Street Tube. It was in sort of Hackney area, Hackney Borough. Right. Yeah, and it was a really. I was expecting that it would be a slightly bigger sort of skate shop, because there aren't actually that many skate shops in London. I think it's one of about 3. I had a look.
Right.
So I was expecting like a fairly big shop, but like there would be like a small room within it, and there were 2 separate rooms in it. But so you had the main sort of shop area with all like clothes and apparel and stuff like that, and then in the back they had like a room which I guess is used for like skateboard fittings and not fittings, but just like customization and trialing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was a real box in there. It was one of those rooms where you could sort of feel the air was static in it when the door was closed.
Right.
So any movement any person made in that room, you could sort of feel it around you. It was quite strange.
Yeah. I've seen a few pictures online, and I get that feel. Like, it did look quite small, actually. I was surprised. Like, in my head, I was being a bit more fantastical. I was thinking, I might be on a boat, or it might be like, somewhere like a high-rise flat or something. But
just like a little room inside a boat.
Yeah, just like, or just on board, like but I think that could work.
I'm sure the Training Days team is listening intently, going, "That's a great idea." Yeah.
Ryan Morgan's like, a boat fam, like just
canal things, bro.
On that harbour shit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it was a really good space, though. I have to say, it's very high pressure. That's the thing, and as referenced by a lot of the performances on the day, because there were a lot of stumbles by people who were very well practiced, and it was it was very, very high. I was shook over every stumble that I was potentially going to make. It was,
shit.
Yeah, it was pretty mad.
So
it was really good fun.
Yeah. But you say high pressure just because the nature of how close everyone is. And...
Yeah, it's not like Fiddlers in the sense that the room is quite airy and you can there's little pockets of space around it. In this room, it was literally like jammed in.
Small room
people were
sessions,
jammed.
bitch.
Yeah. Absolutely. It does what it says on the tin in that sense. Absolutely.
And what was the atmosphere like when you got there? Because it is kind of quite a cool sort of secret event, isn't it? So it lends it an air of like snootiness in a sense. I'm here, like.
Yeah, but it also sort of lends it an air of like, oh, well, are we supposed to be here? Or, like, it's sort of clandestine slightly. Sorry, no, I know that's your old name should be. But yeah, no, it's slightly like, oh right, this is the place. It's nice. It's just that air of difference was definitely about it. It's like, oh right. Just feeling it out, really. It's quite good.
And there were I think there was 30 or so tickets gifted out to, Don't Flop fans. And then was there about 30 more people there, just sort of affiliates? About that,
yeah. Generally about 60 people there. So, yeah, and with the size of the room, they were still jammed in, No,
I imagine, yeah. So how big's the pit then? Is it really?
The pit was probably about, I mean, when I was battling, there were probably about 4 feet between me and Topher, my opponent. So and then around me, I mean, probably I was almost flush to people. So and there were 60 people in that room, more or less. Battlers and other people that had guest lists.
God damn, yeah, it does sound like a pretty hard,
very confined.
Yeah, very confined. So we'll get to what was the first battle? What did we kick off with?
The first battle was Danny, Jack, and Dank Schrader, and it's a really, really good battle actually. I think the only 3 people I should say to not have any kind of stumble in that room were Dank, A, and iKid.
Wow,
they were the only 3 people who didn't stumble in the slightest. So Dank's first round, Danny kicked off, and he was talking about. It obviously went in on the very obvious nonce angle. It was very much a sort of get it out of the way kind of issue. And he had a lot of 8 or 9 wordplay.
Okay, yeah.
As in, like, you
met
your girl when she was 8 or 9. She had to be home by 8 or 9. A lot of plays on that idea. It was very, very, very funny. And he really, really did it creatively because Bobby's round against him for that was kind of a shutdown, and he did very well with it. But Danny still managed to find a little bit of room in between in between what Bobby had left. There was a lot that could have been said, and he did very well with it. Very creative. And then, and I'd say he personally, for me, he took that first round.
Right.
It was very well done. But then Dank's first round was basically hitting him with a lot of different angles. So he basically trying to mix it up because he knew that obviously that's what Danny would open with. So he was trying to deflect it away from that sort of thing and bring it up and mention it to try and negate Danny's clout on it. And he did that to a certain extent, but then it was. It didn't work enough, I would say. So then, if I'm honest, I can't remember the second round at all of this.
Right.
The second round was a complete blackout for me.
Miasma of just...
I think, for me, Danny's first round was just still lingering in my head.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, Dank, were we seeing kind of back to a JB bar style, or was it more angle?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah,
okay.
he was definitely swinging on it. He had a little defeat line.
Again, Dank.
Obviously, it's well. I've said to him, if we get enough Dank Schrader battles, we'll soon be able to play a little game on viewpoint of identify the Dank battle from the defeat bar.
Right. Yeah. Is pins and needles defeat feels different or something like that? One of those
his was defeat with you'll see defeat with these rounds like Verucas. It's like I was like, fair play.
And I mean, second was forgettable. Carbon. Third, how was the third from both of them?
The third was mad. I mean, Dank for me had probably bar of the battle in there because he was talking about the fact that Danny didn't go to the lead section of 8th birthday because he was his girlfriend's birthday. and he used that fantastically in saying that your girlfriend doesn't let you go anywhere, and she's B anchor, like, because it was crazy.
Right, yeah.
The fact that she's an anchor for him and she's B, she's called Bianca. That was
Bianca.
fantastically worked.
That's nice.
I have to say.
Yeah, that's nice. Danny, how was Danny in the third?
Danny in the he was very.
Was there
He was
stumbles?
very subdued in his third, because I got the impression he didn't know his third very well at all, and he sort of he started stumbling. I think he said he cut about 6 bars off the end of it.
Right.
But he still did very well. He put on a very good showing, but he sort of faded as the battle went on, I feel.
Right, yeah, that he does have a tendency to do that, I felt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he had a really good, obvious angle in the first, and it worked very well because, it's a highly objectionable thing. But yeah, as soon as he started going into the more sort of unexplored territory with Dank, it started to fade a little bit. But he was still very, very good.
Yeah, no,
in the end, I think I edged it 2-1 to Dank.
2-1 to Dank.
With Danny, with Danny taking the first. But it's obviously going to be debated, I think.
Oh no, of course, and really excited to see someone like Dank in a tight room like that as well. I bet there were some great reactions.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some crazy reaction in that room, if for a lot of the battles actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, this is Training Days is kind of, they've done a few events now. How was the whole vibe just before we get to the next battle? Was it next in line, or
you love bringing next in line up? Yeah.
It's a benchmark.
Yeah, it is a benchmark. It's very true. It wasn't quite next in line. I think it was. It lacked the scale of next in line, I think, but the intensity was there still, I think. Even though some people were still trying to get a feel for the room and things like that, there was a good intensity in terms of crowd reaction, and it definitely showed up well. It's going to show up well on cam, I think.
Excellent. So after Danny and Dank, what was the next battle?
Next battle was Jace versus York's top 8. It was largely because I think Jace had to leave earlier, and so he was making sure that he could get his train and stuff like that. So that's why they went first. And this was a very, very, very good battle. I knew some of their material because they'd sent little bits and pieces to me, so I was expecting big things, but this was fantastic. Really was. It's probably the most entertaining battle of the night.
Okay.
If not the most, bar heavy and things like that. It was just a very very funny battle, I think. Jace started off in his first. He had a couple of really good bars actually in his first that I liked. Which was he had a Psycho Mantis bar about I read his memory just to use the shit against him, which is, if you know Metal Gear Solid,
Holy
that
shit.
is a bar.
Shadow Moses and his bitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, a lot, plenty of angles, but your lines don't connect. How are we due to make a Star of David as well? That one stuck with me as well. I was like, when he said me that, I was like, are you sure you wrote this, man? This is crazy.
Yeah, that is. No, that's a really good line. I'm hearing that York's like clowned a treat though.
This is the thing. This is why I think the battle worked so well, because if you try and meet Jace on a legitimate level in terms of trying to out joke him or out bar him, then he has something to compete with in that sense. But if you use his personality against him, which Yorks did, and just went and showed people why he can be a dickhead, then you have a real leverage point on him, I think, because he is so widely mocked by a lot of people. It's fair to say, So if you play to that and encourage people to remember that, Jace can be a bit of a knob sometimes, that then you have a real advantage on him, I think. So Yorks went in on the Thorpe Park trip that Jace went on with Danny and his girlfriend and Frankie and his girlfriend.
Right.
So he was effectively like the fifth wheel.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a shutdown that first round. It was very, very good.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And he did it from the point of, the motivation and the logistics of being a fifth wheel, which is why it worked so well. It was fantastic stuff.
Good to hear. And how did it play out in the end? I guess, are we getting a judging decision far in the future, or?
We will be.
Yeah.
I think it's the same 5 judges as judged the quarterfinals. So yeah, Personally, I would give it to York's 2-1
Right.
on the first and the third, because although York's stumbled in his third,
Right.
and cut, he was reordering a bit of shit, I think, and cut off at the end. But it didn't really make that much difference because what he got out was very, very good, very funny, and it was enough. It was enough, he'd gone for enough, enough length of time to get himself over the line, if you like, I think.
So what? Jace just didn't deliver enough, or
that sounds like I'm really
well. I
Jace.
mean,
It's really not. It is. I think it is the best Jace we've seen. He keeps on improving. He really does. He really does. But I personally gave the first and the third to Yorks and the second to Jace, because Jace in the second came out swinging. He had bars all over the place. They were getting reaction. It was mad. Really, I've never seen him that sort of on point with his writing and delivery as he was in it, because he had some very good material in his battle against Spare Solutions, but this was a step up for him. It really was. But all the same, I don't want to ruin too much of what went down. But I will say that the angle that Yorks had in the third, I think, got the biggest crowd reaction of the night.
Wow.
But apart from maybe Crafty and Kid Verbal, I think. But it was the fact that Jace says he's from Oxford when he's actually from a little town called Wallingford.
Right.
And he's saying that basically he's just a small town kid, and Oxford is the hood area that he's from.
Right.
And it's got the biggest reaction of the night that night. Yeah.
Okay.
Up until the last battle. So
Yeah.
So good.
No, sounds like that one really popped up. I had both the guys on doing a little preview for it.
I heard that. It was really good.
Yeah.
And I think the battle definitely lived up to that.
Good.
That hype that was created with that as well.
No, excellent. So, next up, what was third on the night?
Third on the night was me and Topher, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this So obviously both of you guys battled at. Yes, I'm going to mention it again next in line.
Yeah. It's all right. Don't worry.
Very cool that you were part of that. To be fair,
I know. I had to pinch myself when I realised I was on the same card as Shocks, the Rebel, and Tony D. I was like, no pressure then.
So, I mean, how were you feeling coming into this? Were you feeling pressure? Or?
I was feeling pressure because the thing is, I'd taken a one rounder on Dub Scandal with Maverick. It's Jamie Clark, and it was largely. Well, there were a number of reasons actually, but the main reason was because his opponent had dropped out last minute. He's going to battle Max Pepsi, and I stepped in to try and sort of help him out and do it. But he already had some stuff that he could use because I think the first 4 bars were from his round for that.
Right.
And I took a pretty heavy loss on that. To be fair, he's one of those guys that can wrap the telephone book and get people gassed. So my motivation coming into my battle for Topher was pretty low. And I was actually, I probably shouldn't say this, but I was actually a click away from asking Danny if I could postpone, because it was one of those things where I had no motivation. I still had a round to write, and I was just like, I don't think I'm going to do this. But then out of nowhere, just as I was about to hit send, I literally just went no, scrapped my second round and wrote 2 rounds in a week. So I had a week's prep in terms of learning it about 5 days, which is more than I've had for any other battle. Any of my other 2 battles. So I was feeling well prepped when I came in there, but I went once I'd been in the room when I got there. I don't know, something about it. I think the fact that it was so small and confined, and I was looking around, figuring out how the battlers and everyone was going to get in. I sort of went, whoa, this is going to be pressure, man. And I sort of got a bit shook from being in there, to be honest. I was like, everything sort of started leaving my head a little bit as I was going over it in the room. I was like, yeah, this is not going to go well.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I sort of asked Martin Richards and
Legend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he needs to be on this show, man. I was going to ask him.
He's going to be on now.
He's on this place.
Yeah, he's on this Tuesday, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, but I asked him if I could just sort of run bars with him, because he's not because I thought I don't want to take reaction away from the room, and he's not a person that reacts with noise very often. So I went outside with him and just ran them, and he was like, "That's good." And I was like, "Okay, I got a bit of confidence back." So I was feeling okay, and a sort of wave of calm came over me when the battle started. And Topher went first. He did a little freestyle about the fact that I wasn't wearing a turtleneck, which if you're in Viewpoint and you were on it on the day of, like on Friday, you'll have seen that Rowan was actually tearing me a new arse about the fact that I've worn a turtleneck in like 2 of the 3 times he's seen me or something like that. Because I wore one to DF Scotland, and then for my dub scandal battle, which was the next day, I only brought like fresh underclothes with me, so I was just wearing the same turtleneck. So I'm now that turtleneck wanker. That's kind of to be honest, if that's the worst angle that's going to be brought up against me, I am cool with that. It's absolutely fine. Oh, you wear turtlenecks? Yeah, brilliant, cool, mate. But yeah, so Topher sort of did a freestyle about that, the fact I wasn't wearing one, which got a bit of a reaction because clearly people had been on Viewpoint that day. But then straight after that, forgot what he was meant to be saying, which was, I'm not going to lie, my heart did a little jump for a bit. It's like, oh, thank God, oh, it's going to look debatable now. This is awesome. Because I really do rate Topher. Actually.
Yeah.
It's the most sort of scared I've been going into a battle, I think. And yeah, so he sort of stumbled, and he told me afterwards that he actually spat his second first.
Oh.
Because it's the first thing that came to his head. And he was like, right, yeah, just I've remembered this, just spit it, go. And he did it well. He performed it very well. He stumbled, I think, halfway through that as well. Forgot a little bit. But then sort of ran through it again and picked up his place and carried on. It was really good actually. He was talking about Tooth, my battle with Tooth, obviously, and the fact that yes, I did win, but Tooth was not very good at all, apparently. And then the fact that he said he could have spat like shocks and I still would have won.
Right.
Yeah. So that was his main angle on that one. Then I went first. I spat it pretty much clean. Sort of ran through, everything leading up to this point, to try and negate a lot of angles, and then sort of went in on his look quite a lot because he is quite a strange looking fella. Right. So I thought this is gonna pop. I think if my favourite line in that round, I think, is I basically called him. I said, "You look like some cancer-ravaged, harrowed, mannish, feminine Cabbage Patch Kid." Right. Your face puts the trans into transatlantic. Which was that I think got probably the biggest reaction that I had in the room, which I was quite pleased about because it was the one I was most proud of. Yeah. No, yeah, so that was quite good. And then Topher moved on to his I guess first. He was going in on my look, which because I am overweight. Right. Obviously, it's going to come up. Yeah, I'm not changing. Screw him. Right. But and went in on the fact that I'm quite active on Viewpoint because I'm trying to sort of like stir conversation. But he obviously the flip side of that is, oh, you have no life. Which is right. Yeah, absolutely. He wrote it very creatively. I really liked it actually. I was just like, some of the stuff was like, oh my god, that is actually so on the nose. It's quite, it was very well written, very well written. Talking about how every time a notification comes up, I'm hitting his phone with notification constantly. It's like, for God's sake, Dan, I don't want to hear about it. It's 4 a.m. Yeah. He did very well with it. And the fact that because my girlfriend actually doesn't massively like battle rap, but she was sort of very supportive of it, and she's seen a few battles and likes sort of Shuffle and Marlowe and some of the more commercially accessible stuff.
Not a big B Magic fan.
No. She's not. Yeah, she's not going to go in on that kind of stuff. But yeah, I told him that because I met him in Scotland, so he went on that as well, talking about how she's not looking to hear about a breakdown from the villain Yunnan battle, while we're sitting watching Netflix or something, Right. Yeah.
That'd be quite inconsiderate, yeah. Yeah. So in the end, how did it roll up? How did it finish?
It finished, I choked my second. Right. For quite a bit, and then brought a bit of it back, because I just thought, right, well, there's no point trying to carry on with the next bit. Just what do you remember next?
Yeah.
And just I basically cut the middle section out of my second. Stumbled a few more times in the first. We both had stumbles and chokes, and it was not a fluent battle, I have to say, because that's largely down to the room. Even though that's not an excuse, I should have been 200% prepped, and it's I think a lot of MCs left that day feeling like I should have prepped more.
But I think the amount of stutters and chokes that you're pointing to maybe does suggest that the environment has some kind of ownership.
Yeah, it had something, that room. It was very, 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 very pressured. But that's what it's meant to be,
Yeah.
Like how do you show up under that pressure? Yeah. But then we both had strong thirds. I stumbled a little bit. He's out very clean. Yeah. But I think the content in my third was exponentially better than his. I objectively I think that, because I can look outside it and see his wasn't as good. So I'm fairly confident that I won that round. And it was actually judged on the day, because we both decided, we may as well just have it judged, see who's king of the Danny Jack crop. And I got the decision 4-1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the judges, but I know Craft D, Scoop, and A, and Jace judged actually. So I know 4 of the 5.
Okay.
So I was pleased with that, but it's a little bit bittersweet really, because I think I would have been happier taking a loss if it meant I'd had a clean performance, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
But still, all the same, I enjoyed it. It's about what we got out, not what we didn't, I think.
Yes, that's a very
at least that's the attitude I'm taking.
Yeah, that is a very zen way of looking at it, actually.
Having choked massively.
Right, again as well.
Yeah, The first one was the worst, but it just shook me for the rest of the battle. I was like, God, just trying to get the monkey off my back.
I mean, like, what is your memory like tactics? How do you actually rehearse and remember?
Well, I actually I switched it up for this one because I just didn't want to choke again. It's like it's not something you want to do. But I actually get a load of like cards, like cue cards that you get for these things, and I write segments of my rounds on them, and then just basically color code everything. Then do a little thing where I'll just take it and be like, right, okay, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and just like effectively like playing a game of like order your rounds. It's something I was trying. Obviously, didn't fucking work.
It's very neat.
It's just something I thought I'd try, but didn't work. So back to the drawing board on that one. But But
I like the idea that you put all the work into it, though. It's quite charming. Like,
I know.
This huge board in the wall, like this giant cork board you're just staring at.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking for clues.
Crazy, like I'm crazy detective. But no, that's all I could think about as well when I was choking the first time. I was like, all that fucking work, and you're still choking. What are you playing at?
What's blue next? Yeah,
I know. I'm on the blue round. Come on, just make it work.
So what did we follow up that with?
We followed that up with I believe it. Yeah, it was the Conker and Lazy Ass Jack special, which was
this was such a. I mean, because the thing is, just to interrupt you quickly. Just I know Lazy and Bear from Oxford. Actually, I live in Oxford as well, so I hang out with them sometimes. And we were together last week, and they spat me their rounds for this battle, or the majority of them, so I got to hear them. And at the time, I was aware that Ill Rollings, Conker was still down for it. Ill Rollings had actually cancelled on Lazy. And Lazy just had brilliant material that I know he still got it off. But...
Yeah, he flopped. I don't know how many bars at the end he didn't spit, but he was one of the people that didn't get all of his material out. But he was still unbelievable. The reason why I call it the Conker versus Lazy special is because Lazy, basically what the premise was that because both their opponents are backed out, they held up masks of the other person's opponent in front of their faces, and Lazy was, from the second angle which I was looking at, Lazy was holding his mask so far away from his face, it was just like, come on man, put some effort in.
Right.
It was just like I was
you've got to put the mask on the face, man. That's the rule.
Exactly. I was just like, there is no way Ryan's going to be able to edit this angle into anything. It's you could just see it's him like looking at the back of his mask like he's reading it. You know, it was
okay. That's an odd choice from
it was a very
man.
very weird thing. I said to him halfway through, he's like, "Put it close to your face," and he did. He was like, "Oh," but it just kept drifting away. I was like, "I give up. I give up." I tried helping, and it just hasn't worked.
At least you gave a little point in there. But okay, aside from the aesthetic problems, and also aside from Conker B no showing again.
Oh man,
this dude.
I don't know if he's going to be given another chance on training days. To be honest,
no.
It's just too much to keep no showing. And but the thing is, we found out because there's a group chat that all of the battlers were in. We found out that Conker B cancelled on the day at 3:27 a.m. Danny woke up to that message and saw it. It's just like that number is now becoming infamous among like the 8 of us or whatever it is. It's just 3:27 a.m. You're a man, that's peak. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
it was
God.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that being said, the actual rounds themselves were incredible. Because what they did is they condensed all 3 rounds they were going to spit against their opponent into one single round for each other. And Bear Solution, that is the best Bear Solutions I have ever seen. Because I'm not even kidding. It was mad. I've never seen him be that direct, that creative. His last segment, which I know from speaking to him was his third, was madness. He was went in on every aspect of attackable angles for Conker B, did them in very creative ways. His wordplay was incredible. He was talking about the fact that he is alcoholic, takes all kinds of drink and drugs and stuff like that, and the fact that he's apparently had some kind of racist outburst or something.
Right. Okay.
At some point, maybe whether it was on Viewpoint or face to face or whatever, but he brought it all together in one absolute shutdown line with, "How can I be racist? I've got a liver that's black," which was just unbelievable. Yeah. It was, but he was very very good. Talking about the fact that he became a father at a young age. It was very deep, hard hitting stuff.
Yeah.
And I've not been like the biggest fan of Bear Solutions in the past because, I mean, his battles are always entertaining, no matter what you put on, or what battle of his you put on. But I tend to think that sometimes he gets caught up in wordplay that isn't that great. Sometimes, like one statement, another statement, and they have a sort of a weak connection. You know, like it's a bad example, but like it's the one that Jace always brings up. It's like your fucking road, parking spaces. Like there's a vague connection, but it doesn't. Yeah. It's not clear cut, you know what I mean?
No.
But with this, everything was completely linked. It was unbelievable. Seriously, that is good. That battle is very worth watching back. Lazy Ass Jack, on the other hand, he was potentially performance of the night.
Yeah, the rhythm that he gets into when he's full flow, the onslaught. You know. Yeah,
I would say performance of the night until Crafty started. That's all I'll say.
Right. He had the whole. I've had 2 Don't Flop battles. You've had 2 Don't Flop careers.
Yeah, 2 Don't Flop careers. He had a Eucharist scheme which blew my mind. He literally got every aspect of Eucharism into it. Flowed it. It was all a single punchline, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this guy is going to be an unreal problem."
Yeah, you know, he's developing so quickly. And
it's madness. And like he had another one as well. It's you make a blunder bussing jokes because you get caught up in the spray pan. Like, oh my god. It was crazy. His bars were unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a knowledgeable dude. Great guy as well, Jake.
He is. But, and that's the thing. I mean, you have to have a certain level of knowledge to get some of his stuff. But if you have it, my God, he's unreal.
Yeah, he's battling Kraft soon on KOTR, which should be a really good battle as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm really looking forward to seeing that because those 2 pens stood out last night.
Yeah,
they really did.
That's exciting to hear. But just before we get on to Kraft Kid Verbal, little matter of A versus I Kid.
Absolutely, yeah. A versus I Kid. This was, I think, the most appropriate word to describe this was cold. It was like, I mean, these 2 guys going up against each other. The amount of cold references with, you know, like a lot of street talk. You know, it was naturally. Naturally, obviously, yeah. But some of iKid's bars were very, very good. So some were not so great.
Yeah.
But also he had some very, very good stuff. Like talking, like giving let the full ring on his face like knuckle dusters. Like it's just that was a standout for me. It was very, very good. On the other side, he had at the end of his third, he had a bit where he was showing off. He did a three syllable multi across 12 bars, replicated like 37 times. He said at the end, or something like that. It was a real sort of pissing contest at the end where he was like, right, yeah, look, now I'm just going to outright you and leave you behind.
Nice.
You know, it was very, very good.
Sounds
But
like
yeah,
a great battle.
It was a very, very good battle. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of it, actually. I think that's going to be one that people should be looking to get on the PPV if there is one. I don't know if there is going to be a PPV for it yet, but yeah, that is going to be one of the highlights, definitely.
Tough.
Fantastic.
How would you call it?
You're asking him. It's 2-1 debatable either way. I on the night after it happened, I kept wavering between A and iKid. A, I think, definitely takes the third, but the other two are both up for debate. I think. Okay. Yeah, I kept sort of going back and forth, and yeah, I don't know if I had to call it. I would say A.
Okay.
Just iKid made it so debatable.
So we're going to look forward potentially to an A Yorks final.
Yeah, based on the way I'd call it, yeah, A Yorks, I'd say.
And then A Shocks.
Oh, never rule Yorks out, man.
I know.
Never rule him out because A seems like the kind of person that Yorks could really clown on well as well. And Yorks had a go at like spitting. I forgot to say this. Yorks had a go at spitting like gun bars as well, like tongue-in-cheek gun bars, and they went off. They went off quite well.
Yeah.
He had one. He had one he didn't spit as well. I was so gutted because he was reordering stuff. Yeah, it was a bit annoying, but yeah, it was quite good.
What was it?
Yeah. I can't remember the one he said. But the one he said was, "I go trigger happy with a big burner, like Dom Jolly." It was like that was very, very nice. He got that one off. He got that one off. But I remember thinking on the night that he didn't spit that one, and I've completely forgotten what it was now. But it's left my head. But yeah, no, A versus iKid. No, seriously, he was. They were both cooking.
Excellent. Yeah,
there were a few like iffy bars on both sides actually in the middle of both their performances, but they instantly just brought it back like that, you know.
And just before
very good.
Yeah, just before we get into the final headline battle of Crafty Kid Verbal, there was live music from OD and Press One. Is that right?
Yeah. I didn't actually see Press. Maybe whether I was just like too smashed and didn't see him or not. But I remember looking for him like, is he here? And he just I never saw him the whole night. But but OD were there. They shut it down in one of the breaks because it was Morgan Taper and Sonny Pone were they're the members of OD, and they had another guy with them, but I've not met him before at all. But the three of them were killing it during one of the breaks. It was a really welcome addition to the night. I really enjoyed it.
What sort of style was it?
It was quite heavy hip hop. Very, very good. I recommend people check out their stuff. Actually, it's very, very good indeed.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds. That sounds interesting. I mean, that sort of stuff doesn't really get to the channel, does it? It's just kind of there. No,
it was a nice change actually, because I mean, I love Kovu, but you know, it was really nice to have, you know, some different music. You know what I mean? Someone actually giving a performance as well. You know, rather than just a DJ spinning beats. It was quite good, and it worked really well for the room as well. Because it, you know, with it being so confined, it meant actually people could really sort of get the energy up, and it actually worked really, really well.
So we get to the top of the card. Crazy battle. Cannot wait to see this one.
Oh my god!
Yeah, how was it, man?
Crafty and Kid Verbal. Oh my heavens! This battle was unbelievable. I think this will be like Crafty's turning point.
Really?
Because obviously he said it himself, a lot of very, very mid-tier to lower tier almost battles,
Definitely.
like Sean O'Mac, who didn't really prep that well. But Kid Verbal showed up. You know what I mean? It was a very good Kid Verbal he was facing, and if I'm being honest, I give it 3-0 to Kraft.
Holy shit.
3-0.
That good?
It was that good.
Oh, man.
He had 3 mad rounds. The first round was absolute murder, and the second were slightly reduced, but still amazing. Kid Verbal, I think, started off first. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was Kid Verbal first, and he had a lot of really good Kraft name flips.
Sure.
He was talking about turn this game into a movie. Are you ready for this Warcraft? That was nice.
Duncan Jones shit.
I took going on about Kraft. I'm so annoyed with Kid Verbal because he had a lot. I thought of a lot. You know when your brain suddenly throws something up for you, and I thought of the idea like vaguely, but Kid Verbal nailed it in the fact that Kraft D sounds like a make your own dildo kit.
Yeah.
Which is just amazing. But yeah, he had a lot of Kraft name flips. Worked the room well. He's definitely back.
Has anyone ever done a Kraftwerk name flip for Kraft?
Well, they're going to now, aren't they?
Like Kraftwerk. I'll make Kraftwerk.
Yeah, make Kraftwerk. Like
Jolly J could say it or something. Yeah. Or like on Don't Let the Label You. Everyone's like, what?
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
So Kid Verbal really been away for a long time. The no-fly zone lifted and
Yeah, well, it's like Kraft said, Shocks lives locally, so I guess he'll have known about that, and so decided not to,
I mean, what
ruin
was expected?
Kid Verbal's life.
Was Shocks going to attack Kid Verbal?
Just suddenly shows up, go, oi!
I'm going to risk everything that I've achieved to just batter you. I don't know why he would go out there, but I mean, It had a threat though. Like Shocks is the loveliest guy ever, but he's a monster when he wants to be.
Exactly. That's his strength though. He's like the fact that he can be that nice and yet that cold at the same time. Yeah. It's just like you never know what you're going to get with him.
You said earlier there was a few stumbles and chokes. Did this battle suffer?
No, it's only at the end. Third round was Kid Verbal sort of like completely stopped, called time, but the crowd was sort of saying, no, spit it, just. We'll wait. It's fine. Spit it because you just want to hear the bars, really, don't you? So we carried on. He carried on for a little bit and then went, no, I've got to call it. And it was like, okay, fair enough. Crafty had a little stuff, like the minorest of stumbles,
right?
But brought it back very quickly, and I assume spat everything he had meant to spat because it seemed that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, all 6 rounds were amazing.
Excellent,
it's an despite for me being a 3-0 for Kraft, it is an excellent back and forth. Genuinely is. Kraft had an amazing line about Star Wars, which ends in Death Star.
Right. Okay.
It is for me bar of the night. It was. I'm not going to spoil it.
No.
Obviously, if there is a PPV, I don't want to take away from that. But it's. Oh my god! It's one of those lines, right, where there are 2 aspects to the punchline. I reacted at the first part like a madman and literally jumped in the air when he spat the second. It was I've not done that since like Soul versus Raptor.
Right.
It was that good. It's just one of those ones. It's like as soon as he spits the first part, you're like, oh shit, there's more. What the hell? It's like
you're selling this battle, man. This battle sounds great.
Man, my god!
Yeah,
if people get a part of the PPV and not this, they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, I mean,
seriously.
No, I mean, as Topper says, I don't know if you've seen Topper versus Saurus.
Man.
A great battle that was. As Topper says, armed and deadly narcolepsy. I'm criminally slept on. That's what Crafty is. Like, for me, he's always been brilliant. If you go back to his Ambi tryout, his Press 1 battle was a really good battle as well.
I think also it's in the same vein as Lazy Ass Jack as well, in that he's very technical and sometimes spits a lot about things that people might not necessarily know about in that sense. But he's found a way to make it, since I think his Heretic battle, I think he's found a way to make everything he says a lot more relatable. Like, even if you don't get the reference, there'll be something in there you can latch onto. You know what I mean? and that's where he's really sort of honed down and made it very, very good.
No, it's excellent to hear. Like, I'm a huge fan of the guy, and Kid Verbal as well. Great to see that he had a good show.
Yeah, his Kid Verbal's flow is crazy. I mean, I hope at one point we see him on Keeping It 140, because he would catch a body on that. He really would. He had the hood up as usual, looking like he's going to stab someone at any point. But yeah, it was really, really good battle. I don't want to spoil it. That's the thing.
No.
You want to preview it and sell it, but
yeah.
At the same time, you can't blow too many bars.
Of course. So I mean, after that, anything interesting happened? Was there ciphers going on? Did people just sort of filter back, or?
After that, well, I was expecting that Raws would be performing "I Don't Want to Be Like Jace," his new shot for number one.
Yeah.
Which because I've had that thing in my head for like the past week and a half now. It's been so annoying, but amazing at the same time. But no, in the end, after the battles, everyone just sort of started filtering out, and I think some people went on elsewhere. I had to go meet a couple of friends, and
sure.
But yeah, it was pretty much accepted because it finished at about midnight. Everyone sort of thought right away, it's probably a good time to just knock it on the head, because if we do carry on, there's only 3 hours after. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much just ended there. To be honest.
No, fair enough, man. And did you leave going towards your friends? Were you thinking a good victory, or was it more?
Oh man, I was there thinking, mate, this is going to be such a letdown now. After this, after seeing that, I'm just going to be so disinterested in my mates. It's just like I thought it was such a mistake.
Yeah, no, I get you. And so I guess we finish up Carbon. How do people get at you, social media wise, that sort of stuff?
They don't really, to be honest.
Right. But, I mean, do you not have a Twitter for your battles, or?
No, I don't have Twitter, I'm afraid. No, Dan Lockyer on Facebook. That's it, really.
And your other battles, I mean, Dub Scandal. I think when this is going to come out quite soon.
Yeah,
so
support Dub Scandal. It's a really, really fun league to battle on. I really enjoyed my battle there, despite taking a fairly resounding loss. But yeah, I knew that was going to happen walking in, to be honest. But yeah, no, they've already got like 5 or 6 battles up already, so definitely check that out.
Definitely go support, go subscribe.
And they're announcing a card as well for like April 9th as well in Sheffield. They've only released like I think 4 announcements, but already it's looking very, very good.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think I heard a few from a few people who were involved with that. So yeah, it does sound like it's going to be a good card. But Carbon, thanks so much, man. This has been great.
That's all right. Been a pleasure, man. Been a pleasure.
All right.